Hey, what is up, everybody? Discussion Verse here to talk about Superman 2025 and just how special this movie is going to be. With the trailer that just dropped, we are seeing some amazing footage and scenes so far, especially with the stellar cast. So, of course, in this video, I'm going to be going over all things that you might have missed in the Superman 2025 official trailer. Though, before I begin, I do want to give a huge shout out to all the support that you guys have been throwing at me. You all have seriously managed to change how the YouTube channel goes, especially with that last video that I did on 28 years later. I mean, that's nearing 30k views, and the channel has been growing ever since. So again, I can't thank you guys enough, and continue to keep up that support by hitting the like button, comment, and subscribe. Now, with that out of the way, we could fly right into this Superman trailer, which throws us right into the action as we watch Clark Kent Superman fall from the sky and having lost some sort of fight here. And I love that Superman's costume really stands out here. It just looks stunning, to be honest with you. And then we get that intercut of him as Clark Kent going to the Daily Planet. I mean, that just looks really good. I also think David Corenswet's body language between Superman and Clark Kent is just so apparent, and you can feel it. It's really palpable. Along with that, the world building within the trailer and the universe established with Creature Commando so far is truly unique and is really helping this trailer and overall the movie, right? Because I think that's a great starting point to go off of without having to get tied down by an origin story and being able to just come into the world. And I think that is just a smart move here. And I already feel immersed into it based off of Creature Commandos and based off of this trailer alone. I feel like I understand how the DCU is working, seeing that the rest of the world already knows about superpowers, about magic, about villains, and all this stuff, right? So none of this is exactly new to them. But how is Superman gonna stand out in the sea of superheroes, supervillains, and all that stuff? That's what's really gonna make this unique. That's exactly what's captured here by the trailer, and also just by the tone overall from what James Gunn has been describing for his vision in Superman. Along with that, in the trailer, we do see a lot of Silver Age Superman references, especially with Superman fighting the big kaiju, as James Gunn has been referring to the monster as. A lot of those Silver Age comics did usually have Superman facing off against a big monster rather than one of his infamous Rogue Gallery villains. We then get our look at Crypto the Superdog, which is really awesome and unique, and I love that they're adding this aspect to Superman. It's going to be really special to see that on screen. We then also see our first look at Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, and I think he looks super menacing. We of course see LexCorp in the background in the trailer shots, and we also see a cool little Easter egg with Stag Industries. And of course we then see Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner Green Lantern, we see Mr. Terrific played by Eddie Gathegi, and we see Isabella Merced's Hawkgirl in the trailer and in action. Along with that, we did finally get our first look at Anthony Carrigan as Metamorpho, and that's going to be a really exciting character to see fully realized on a cinematic scale. Though it is worthy to note that I am on track here with a theory in that Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, and Mr. Terrific all share similar outfits and suits, and they are sponsored by Maxwell Lord, who we know is cast in this movie and gonna be played by Sean Gunn, who's James Gunn's brother. Now, in the comics, Maxwell Lord did fund a version of the Justice League, which was called the Justice Lords, and I think that's kind of what we're seeing here when Superman comes into the swing of things. There's already an established team, and they're already known to go around and help out with anything that happens within Metropolis or anywhere really, but Metropolis hasn't had its own hero until Superman starts to make his debut appearance. Now, the question is, what makes him stand out when the public is already used to other superpowered beings helping out, or even the superpowered beings that destroy? Like I said, the goal is going to be to make Superman stand out and also make him inspire the other heroes and metahumans that are out there in the DCU to come out and be the best that they can be, such as Superman is being. He doesn't need this team, he doesn't need this sponsorship in order to do the right thing. He's always just going to make sure that he is doing everything he can for the rest of the people because of his power set and because of that responsibility that he has. Another great thing that gets me excited for this movie is James Gunn recently speaking with Collider on a set visit and how he described approaching the action scenes for Superman, because he really cares about paying close attention to how the fights work on the ground while also how the fights work up in the air. And they're utilizing all this technology seen in Top Gun Maverick while also utilizing drone filming cameras to get other angles and create this movie magic to show those in-air fight sequences, which I think is just truly unique to not only film itself but the superhero genre, and especially with Superman. I mean, he's a character who has flight abilities and who fights in the air with other villains and other characters that do have similar power sets. With this approach shared in how he's going to do the Superman fight sequences and hand-to-hand combat, it's also equally exciting to see how he's going to approach the flight sequences. We got a little bit of glimpses in the trailers, but it doesn't do any justice to how it would look on screen, I'm sure. But you should be really excited for that because, I mean, I think these little glimpses alone that we've gotten look phenomenal. Another strong aspect from the trailer and from everything that we're getting so far with Superman 2025 is going to be the focus on Lois Lane and Clark Kent's relationship being super integral. And I also love that James Gunn has went on and said that in this film, we are thrown into the middle of everything with Superman, which include Lois and Clark's relationship and her knowing that Clark Kent is also Superman by this point, which adds another dynamic and a layer to their relationship. And it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that's handled on screen when they're at the Daily Planet with Superman using his Clark Kent persona to work there and be incognito. I can absolutely see how this is going to play as an emotional anchor of the film in terms of Lois and Clark's relationship. Of course, we are going to have his relationship with his parents, Ma and Pa Kent, because we do see them in the trailer and we also see the Kent farm. But this is going to be more forward and more present for the story. And I also find it truly unique how the public is not accepting of Superman and they don't even seem to like him from the trailer shots that we get. And it seems like Superman has to somehow earn their respect and trust, and not only that, go forth and inspire the other metahumans in the world to be the greatest versions of themselves that they can be. And I think that's going to be a very awesome thing to see play out on the big screen with Superman 2025. Now, it's been confirmed that Lex Luthor is the main villain for this movie, but I think we're going to see other antagonists for Superman to face off of. Specifically, we see a few shots of soldiers that may or may not attack Superman and the other heroes, but I think they are going to be led by Rick Flag Sr., played by Frank Grillo, who also voices him in Creature Commandos. Now, the reason I say that is because of some behind-the-scenes set photos that do show Rick Flag Sr. arresting Superman while walking with the engineer, played by Maria Gabriela de Faria, and a masked character who we have been theorizing as a version of Ultraman or Bizarro. We do see this masked character fighting and going toe-to-toe with Superman within that stadium setting. That was pretty crazy, and I'm excited to see how this plays out as they are with him when they are arresting Superman. Not only that, the army is present with them, so that leads me to believe that this is a government operation that Rick Flag is helping lead, and they do have the help from metahumans. Specifically, this would be the engineer who's on the team called the Authority, and we know that the Authority is a movie that they're going to be working towards down the road for DC's Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters. I imagine that this is going to play a bigger role down the road, but we are seeing the seeds of the foundation for the DCU being planted and laid out here. The beauty here is the seamlessness, right? We have a cohesion without distracting you from the main movie, and also keeping the movie about Superman through and through. The potential of this movie is insane and skyrockets after this trailer. I seriously believe that we are in store for something really special coming in summer of 2025. And if you're not sold on David Corenswet being Clark Kent Superman, you need to stop straight up. Like, there's no reason for you to be against this guy, especially considering his full understanding of the Superman character and embracing who Superman truly is, even down to the Trunks being with the costume. For example, with the image on screen and how he approached the Trunks with James Gunn is very special, specifically with his understanding of Superman's character and how he is the embodiment of hope and he wants to be a symbol for positivity. But he's an alien with all these powers, and to some he might be scary, so how do you let that guard down and make yourself more approachable? So Corenswet went on to say how he dresses up like a professional wrestler. He dresses up in a way that makes people unafraid of him, and the outfit shows that. And I think that's so great that he came up with that and kind of workshopped it with James Gunn in order to bring it onto the full screen, because the Trunks look phenomenal and it really sells that idea that, hey, I can walk up to this guy even though he is this ultimate powered being, but he'll still help me if my cat is stuck up in the tree. I feel this movie absolutely captures that, and totally understands the character of Superman. And I believe firmly that it is in great hands and this will be a solid movie. My excitement is through the roof and I hope you guys share that same excitement. Though even if you don't, that's alright, I would love to hear about it. As this does wrap up the video here for my thoughts on the Superman 2025 trailer. Thank you so much for watching and checking out this video. As always guys, smash that like button, leave a comment, and of course hit that subscribe. Until then, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.